coming from a long history, several ages, several thousands of years of struggling with the idea of masculine and feminine roles, energies. It's only now in the new Aquarian age that we can understand these energies as they really are, as a part of every single individual, whether born as a man or a woman. And furthermore, we can understand how these energies interact, and if one incarnates as a man, how that's going to express itself, versus, or perhaps complementary to, not versus, if one is born as a female, and how those energies interact. We're finally making sense of a lot of confusion that we've been through, and understanding what it is to be a man, but to have feminine qualities and characteristics, and what it is to be a woman and to have male, masculine qualities and characteristics. If you break it down energetically into the elements, which the zodiac is broken down into, the 4 elements: fire, air, masculine; water, earth, feminine, a lot starts to make sense. Say you're a man born with a earth or a water or sun sign, you're going to have a lot of feminine characteristics and qualities, and it's important to be conscious of what that means so you don't get wrapped up in the bullshit perspective, not even perspective, but prejudice of what a man needs to be, the typical macho meathead type idea. And it's also interesting to note, if one is a female born with air or fire sun sign, or just a lot of energies in general for either male or female, but if one is a female born with a masculine sun sign and a lot of energies that are masculine, how to reconcile being born in a feminine body and having a lot of feminine energies, and yet having so much masculinity course through you energetically, and to not subscribe to the equally bullshit ideas of femininity being the princess in the lost tower waiting for the savior. It's really important to understand that every single person is an amalgamation of both masculine and feminine, and that ultimately you as the individual, just as I as the individual, every single person needs to figure out for themselves who they are, who they're attracted to sexually, but not even just sexually, mentally, emotionally. Partner signs. I did a series about the different signs in the zodiac and their partner signs, basically the signs that end up creating the catalyst for the most progress and development. Partner signs are the same gender of energies. So the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, for example, are paired with fire, which is all masculine, and water with earth, which is both feminine. People are so complex and have such a dizzying array of energies. Me, for example, I have some incredibly masculine energies. I am a Gemini, an air sign, sun in the house of Aquarius, another air, masculine, rising Leo. I mean, the sun, we'll get to that, the planets and how they correspond with the masculine and feminine. Incredibly masculine. Mars in the house of Aries, Mars in Leo, yada, yada, yada. But I'm also moon in Cancer. That is, from my experience, the most feminine sign, or at least one of them that you can get. I have Venus and Pisces energies, incredibly feminine. My moon's in the house of Pisces, water, feminine. I have tons of Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, a lot of earth, feminine. One of my favorite qualities of myself, and I have it tattooed, this aspect, it's kind of difficult to see, but moon in Cancer, trine, Pluto in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a feminine energy. So again, we are such a fascinating, intense amalgamation of energies that it's erroneous, it's inaccurate to say that somebody is completely masculine or completely feminine. Ultimately, it's up to the individual to find out just figure themselves out, you know, and to understand their energies and not feel restricted or burdened. Yeah.
No.
Hey,
So,
I'm doing a video right now.
Huh?
I'm doing a video right now. Can you wait like 10 minutes?
Sorry.
Oh, it's not even a big deal.
Well, I'm going to go on to bed. Do you know how to lock that back door?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Bella.
Night, Mom.
No.
So it's up to the person to not subscribe to erroneous assumptions made by society, because society's views have been, whether in this last age, or the age before that, you know, the age of Greece and Sparta and all the warring and all that insanity, and of weak women. Oh my goodness, there have been, and on and on and on. There have been so many ages of confusion about the ideas of masculine and feminine energies, and of the self in general. But of course, it extends to masculinity and femininity. I mean, even just in the last couple of decades, we've seen revolutions as far as what it means to be masculine, what it means to be feminine, and what it means to what's okay in society's eyes to express. You know, my grandfather, a very loving man, but and it's not just him; it was the society, the paradigm he was born into. But didn't hug his kids, his sons rather. It was a handshake deal. We've gotta, in this age, we are learning to balance masculine and femininity and feminine energies in our lives. So let's discuss this astrologically. This is fascinating. The whole saying women are from Venus, men are from Mars, totally accurate, actually. I mean, if you look at the characteristics of these planets and attribute them in general, and again, this is in general, but there are fascinating characteristics to incarnating as a man and incarnating as a woman. Whether you're a man attracted to other men, or a woman attracted to other women, or whatever sexual orientation, if you're born a man, there are some fantastically fascinating energies, just as if you're born a woman. And what it means for you, and what the planets, how they impact you, and what your choice of incarnating as either gender means for you. So, men, it's too stereotypical to go with men first. Men are always wanting to go first. So let's go with women first. Women, I find, this is my perspective, are not only ruled by Venus, but also the moon. I might as well balance it a bit. Just as men are not only ruled by Mars, but also the sun. Specifically for women, I find the moon adds that nurturing, compassion, the stereotypical femininity energies of, again, nurturing, compassion, childbearing, child rearing, flow of love, easy flow of soft vulnerability, of fertility, of, hips that can bear kids, the orientation of the body being more towards the hips instead of men like the shoulders. This is also, I find, where the stereotype of irrationality comes from. And to be fair, and I have a lot of Cancer energy myself, so don't get mad at me, women, and especially moon in Cancer, but being in tune with the moon is running through the sky. It moves 13 degrees a day. The sun moves 1 degree a day in relation to the earth. So the moon, out of all the astronomical bodies out there, is shifting the most, is going through phases the most. This explains why, especially from a very masculine-oriented perspective, women don't make sense. Because there seems to be an irrationality, how one day the moods are going one way, and then the next the moods are another. And it's to be understood. It's simply the moon and its phases. And it's important not only for women to understand this, but for men too, and to accept this as this is just a part of women's life. and to not feel limited by it, because we've come from a very sheltered age, this last age of Pisces with Virgo. I've found so many times that it seems taboo to talk about menstruation cycles, periods. All my women friends, I am very actively asking them, hey, are you having your period soon? And not in like a, oh my god, you're acting crazy, are you on your period? But interest astrologically, because it's fascinating how the cycles make sense astrologically. Almost always when I ask one of my friends who's a girl if they're on their period or if they're about to, it's accurate. And it's funny because, again, if you look at their natal moon sign and you look at the transiting moon sign, and if it's either the same one or it's the partner sign, so for example, say natal moon in Aquarius, and out there transiting moon is in Aquarius or in Leo, then the period starts. And again, it's all cycles. That's all life is. But especially with the moon, it's all cycles. And so it's just an important part of understanding. The moon in femininity is a huge part of understanding. That's what makes women such great child caretakers. Now, men can be just as great. We just have to embrace our own femininity. And we also need to embrace the fire and the father raising, how do I put it, the paternal instincts of the son. But we'll get to that. I mean, the moon is